Chapter 32. And early in the morning Laban rose up, kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned into his place. And Yaakov went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And Yaakov said, when he saw them, This is God's camp. And he called the name of that place Machanaim. And Yaakov sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, unto the land of Seir, the field of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall you say unto my lord Esau, Thus saith your servant Yaakov, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed until now. And I have oxen, and asses, and flocks, and men servants, and maidservants, and I have sent to tell my lord, that I may find favor in your sight. And the messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, We came to your brother Esau, and moreover he comes to meet you, and 400 men with him. Then Yaakov was greatly afraid, and was distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, into 2 camps. And he said, If Esau come to the one camp, and smite it, then the camp which is left shall escape. And Yaakov said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who sayest unto me, Return unto your country, and to your kindred, and I will do you good. I am not worthy of all your mercies, and of all the truth, which you have shown unto your servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 camps. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he come and smite me, the mother, with the children. And you sayest, I will surely do you good, and make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for the multitude. And he lodged there that night, and took of that which he had with him a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats, and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams, 30 milch camels, and their colts, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by itself, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meets you, and asks you, saying, Who art you, and whither goest you, and who art these before you? Then you shall say, They are your servant Yaakov's. It is a present sent unto my lord, even unto Esau, and behold, he also is behind us. And he commanded also the second and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, In this manner shall you speak unto Esau, when you find him. And you shall say, Moreover, behold, your servant Yaakov is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept me. So the present passed over before him, and he himself lodged that night in the camp. And he rose up that night, and took his 2 wives, and his 2 handmaids, and his 11 children, and passed over the ford of Jabbok. And he took them, and sent them over the stream, and sent over that which he had. And Yaakov was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Yaakov's thigh was strained as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaks. And he said, I will not let you go, except you bless me. And he said unto him, What is your name? And he said, Yaakov. And he said, Your name shall be called no more Yaakov, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed. And Yaakov asked him, and said, Tell me, I pray you, your name. And he said, Wherefore is it that you dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Yaakov called the name of that place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And the sun rose upon him as he passed over Peniel, and he limped upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not the sinew of the thigh vein, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Yaakov's thigh, even in the sinew of the thigh vein. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Now, in the last chapter, Laban, Yaakov had loaded up everything. Him and Laban had a parting of the ways, we might say. Laban, that which is white. White always stands for the purity. Him and his sons were no longer happy with Yaakov. He had slowly taken over all that Laban had. Of course, that's Yaakov, the supplanter. We'll find out God was blessing Jacob greatly. The mighty one was blessing Jacob greatly. And he was prospering, as we'll see. Well, finally, he gets so wealthy that it's become time for him to leave, and he convinces his wife, after Laban has many times changed his wages and required of him more and more. So finally, he had grew weary, and he had parted and left from there. Laban had caught back up with him because Jacob didn't tell him nothing. And there they had made an agreement at Gilead, Galid, or Yagar Sahaduta, whichever way you want to say it. It's all the same place. That pile of stones it's going to witness. And these stones are going to be every word that come from the agreement they made. Agreement. Covenants. Agreement is a covenant. The ideal is to have the same understanding as the person you're entering into that agreement with. That way, if you both have full understanding of the agreement will become sound. If not, there's going to be some confusion in that agreement, and problems will occur. And really, we can get that overall understanding out of it. But here we're going to have an agreement between Laban and Yaakov, and Laban's going to leave and go back to where he came from. Adam, he is an Aramean, one of those that was exalted. Adam is the place of those exalted ones. And Yaakov's going to go on, going back to where he came from as the Lord commanded him. We're going to pick it up right there, verse 1. And early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them, and Laban departed and returned into his place. And early in the morning, as always, Laban rose up. That's the one who was white, and kissed his sons, embraced him, those that would go forth from him, and his daughters, those that went forth from him, with his understanding, of course, and he blessed them. And Laban, that one that was white, departed and returned to his place, that place that was appointed for him too. And Yaakov went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And Yaakov, that's the supplanter. The supplanter is always somebody that's taking up something that don't belong to them or get in charge of it. We'll find out. As he went on his way, or as he was going, the angels, or those are the deputies of the Mighty One, met him. Angel is somebody who is dispatched by the powers or the strength of the Mighty One himself, Elohim. And these angels, or these deputies, they met him, 3. And Yaakov said, when he saw them, this is God's camp. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Yaakov said, when he saw them, when he saw these deputies of the Mighty One, of Elohim, and he called that place, that's the Elohim's camp, that's the Mighty One's camp, the host of the Lord's camp even. Basically, this is where God's got his army camped down. And he called the place of that name Mahanaim, and that's the place of 2 camps. This place of 2 camps, and we can witness these 2 camps anytime we got 2. It's a double, it's a plural, because it's in order to repeat it, to have to clarify, to give witness, these 2 camps. 4. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the field of Edom. And Yaakov would send messengers before him to Esau. Yaakov's that Suppletor, that's Esau's brother. The one that says same understanding. They're not quite the same, though. They're very different. He would send Esau some messengers to his brother, Esau. Esau's the one who's rough, hairy, unto that land of Seir. Seir means to be afraid. In the sense of, we have a bristling of this, or the like bristles is basically what it is. This land of it, land of fear. This land of can mean shaggy, as like hair that stands up, bristles up from fear. That feeling when hair stands up on the back of your neck, so to speak. These bristles are always going to be. It's a representation of fear, of thorns, even. The field of Edom. In the field of Edom is where that would be. That field is the broad, open places outside of a city. And that land of Edom. Edom means red. 5. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shalt you say unto my lord Esau, Thus saith your servant Yaakov, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed until now. And he commanded them, he told them, saying, Thus shalt you say unto my lord Esau, when he sent these messengers to Esau, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed until now. And he said, I have sojourned with Laban, the one who white, and stayed until now. And we'll remember that was one of Abraham's big things, that his son returned not there. And we'll find out, though, that's exactly what's happened. He didn't want Ishaq going back here to get a wife. It was okay to go take a wife from there, but he didn't want him to return to there. Jacob has returned to that land, and now we'll find out he has been prospered greatly. 6. I have oxen and asses and flocks and men servants and maid servants, and I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find favor in your sight. And these messengers will go forth and to tell Esau that Yaakov has been with Laban, and he has prospered greatly. He has oxen. Oxen are those that pull, and asses are those that carry the burdens, and the flocks are always those which are tended. These men servants, those that do the masculine portion of the servitude, and the maid servants are those that do the feminine portion of the servitude. And I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find favor in your sight. And he sent to tell Esau that hopefully that he might be favorable in his sight. 7. And the messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, We came to your brother Esau. Moreover, he comes to meet you, and 400 men with him. And when these messengers come back to Yaakov, they say to him, we made it to your brother. We came to your brother Esau, and moreover, he's coming to meet you. And they told him what he wanted him to say, and now Esau's on his way with these 400 men. 4, we'll find out. 4 is always the reference to God's word when he was dividing, and these 100 are the judgments that are coming with him. 8. Then Yaakov was greatly afraid and was distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, into 2 camps. And Yaakov was afraid this was a sign that Esau hadn't yet found forgiveness. And he divided his people that was with him, the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, everything. The flocks are always those that were just tended over. These herds are all the cattle, and the camels are those ones that are carrying his merchandise. He divides them into 2 camps. Once again, we can witness those 2 camps. 9. And he said, If he shall come to the one camp and smite it, then the camp which is left shall escape. And his understanding now in this division to divide these were that if the rough one, Esau, would be to come and try to smite one of the camps. The other one would be left that could escape. 10. And Yaakov said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Ishmael, O Lord, who sayest unto me, return unto your country and to your kindred, and I will do you good. And Yaakov says, oh, that's the supplemental. O God of my father Abraham, and this Elohim, these powers, this might, this strength of the one who would give birth to him, this father of many nations, and this power, this strength, the one who exists of my father Ishaq, that's the one who would give birth to him, this one who's laughing, O Lord, that's that holy name, who said unto me, return to your country, to your kindred, I will do you good. And he's reminding the Lord that he's the one who had sent him, who had told him to go back. 11, and I am not worthy of all your mercies and of all your truth which you have shown unto your servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now have become 2 camps. He says, I'm not worthy of all your mercies, this grace and this kindness that he showed him and kept him in his way, of all the truth. And that's those understandings he had gained in the house of Laban. Those 10 times Laban had changed his wages. Those things which he had shown to his servant. That's the one who was serving him, gathering that understanding. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan. And my staff is that which he was leaning on. That staff was that which would support him. And it was just basically it's a thing of rule. It's a thing of rules, some support, and that he passed over this Jordan. That Jordan is always that's that river that descends from the throne of the Lord Himself. That understanding that comes down from Hashem. And now I've become 2 camps. This 2 camps, he's been divided. He's divided these 2 camps, and we can witness these camps. 12. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he come and smite me, the mother with the children. Deliver me, save me, I pray you, from the hand or the works of my brother. This one is the same understanding as me. From the works of Esau, that rough one. For I fear him, I'm afraid, unless he would come and smite me. And that's to slay, as he didn't know whether Esau would forgive him or not. The mother with the children, and this mother is that one that would give birth to all those that would come forth from him. That's the children. 13. And you sayest, I will surely do you good, and make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And again, Yaakov reminds the Lord, when he repeats what the Lord said, I would surely do you good, and to make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. That was the blessing that went upon Abraham, the father of many nations, and we'll see that Yaakov had become the one who would inherit that blessing. And he lodged there that night, and took of that which he had with him a present for Esau's brother. So he's going to lodge there or stay there that night. Night's always in reference to a period of darkness in a place where he didn't have no understanding. He didn't know whether the Lord was going to. There was doubt here. Yes, there's doubt when he doesn't know. He reminds the Lord that the Lord promised these things. He's afraid Esau's going to slay him, and he's going to fall subject to man, and we'll find out the Lord prevails. And he took of that which he had with him a present for Esau's brother. So he takes every part of what he's got, everything that he's got, and he gives it. He's going to make a present, something to give to his brother Esau. 15. 200 she-goats, 20 he-goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams. 16. 30 milch camels and their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals. This would be the gift he would assemble. 2. And we can witness these 100 judgments in these she-goats. These she-goats are the feminine of the goat. The goat is the one who takes the place of the sheep. And these 20 he-goats, 20, we will witness the law in these he-goats. He-goats are those that exalt themselves over the herd, or the goat. He's the one, those that exalt themselves. They got the horns, and they control the she-goats. We're witnessing these two camps, and these 200 ewes and 20 rams. 200, once again, witness the judgments. Also, in these ewes, that's the females. The female always adds to the flock. These are of the sheep. Sheep's those that are easily led, and the 20 rams are will witness the law. Even in the rams are the ones that exalt themselves over the sheep. They also have the horns. 16. 30 milch camels and their colts, 40 kine and these 10 bulls. 30 milch camels and their colts are going to be a milch camel is one that's already broken. She's docile. She's calm and easily controlled. 30's 3/10. We witness the law completely, and it's given some strength here. We'll find out it's dedicated for something with their colts. And their colts are the colt is a male, you can say, offspring of the camel, that which will carry on, and that those camels are the ones who carry the merchandise. 40 kine and 10 bulls. 40, work of God in the law. It's also of probation for the kine. 40, God works the law in the cattle, or the cows, those that bear to the herd. These are of the larger cattle, of the greater cattle. Kind of the more like they're the bosses, the greater cattle. We have a lesser cattle, those that are led. There's a greater cattle, more like those that are led as well, who are more magnified, we could say. And 10 bulls. 10 bulls, there's law. There's the law in those bulls. We'll find out too many bulls makes for a bad herd. 20 she-asses and 10 foals. 20 will witness the law again in these she-asses. A she-ass is that feminine once again. Ass is something that carries the burden. It's a sign of authority, the burden which is upon the ass, because in the times past, the more wealthier or the leaders would be carried upon these asses. And these 10 foals, that's those that come forth from the she-ass. Even the law itself. 17. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by itself, and he said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. So he delivers them into the works of his servants, those do the masculine work, or the feminine, whichever was need be. Every drove by itself. And so he separates them according to the way they was just separated above. And he says unto his servants, Pass over, go on before me, and put a space between each one. So there's a distance. A distance is, we could figure two different ways. It takes time to cross any distance, so it's always going to be a space of time. 18. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meets you, and asks you, saying, Who art you? Whither goest you? And whose are these before you? And he commanded the one up front. That's the foremost, the one that was furthest away from him and up front. He says, when you see Esau, my brother, now this one is like unto me, not exactly the same. Esau's rough. And he asks you, saying, who art you? Where do you go? And who are these before you? Anytime when Esau comes, and he wants to know just who are you? This is what you'll say. 19, then you shall say, you art your servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my Lord, even unto Esau. And behold, he also is behind us. You will tell him that you are a servant of Yaakov. Yaakov is the supplanter. It is a present that was sent unto Esau, the Lord, my Lord. And this is going to be a sovereign, one who is given authority to rule himself. And behold, he also is behind us. That Yaakov is coming. 20. And he commanded also the second and the third and all that followed the droves, saying, in this manner shall you speak unto Esau when you find him. And everybody, all the rest of them, the second and the third, all that followed the droves, that's all the ones he had divided up to go before him as a messenger. These witnesses, however you want to look at it. The second, that means a witness. The third would make it to strengthen even that. Same thing. All of them that followed the droves would say in the same manner. They would all speak the same thing unto Esau. 21. That you shall say, moreover, behold, your servant Yaakov is behind him. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept me. And also you would add that even behold, your servant Yaakov is behind us. He is coming. He said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me. This is the presents that go before, and afterward I will see his face. And after he has seen all that I will give him, I would see his face and those things that he would make plain, supposing that he will accept me, whether or not I would be acceptable again unto him. We'll find out. This is one thing that Yaakov really looked forward to. It's no good to be separated from one who has a similar understanding as you do. 21. So the present passed over before him, and he himself lodged that night in the camp. So he sends that present, that gift, before him on ahead. And he himself lodges that night in the camp. And the camp is the place where they have grouped together, assembled themselves, and he would lodge there through that period of darkness. Once again, that period he doesn't know what's going to happen. He supposes that Esau will accept these things. 23. And he rose up that night, and took his 2 wives and his 2 handmaids and his 11 children, and passed over the ford of Jabbok. And so he gets up that night, even in the darkness. And he took his 2 wives. We witnessed these wives. That's the reflections of his understanding. And these 2 handmaids. We can witness those handmaids. They do the feminine work of Yaakov. His 11 children. 11 is 10 and 1. And the law has a beginning with these children. Those that would go forth from Yaakov. And they would all pass over, and that's to cross this ford of Jabbok. A ford is a wide place in a river. It's usually spread out, and the water gets shallow. So that's a good place to cross. And they cross over the Jabbok River. Jabbok means to pour out. Pour out in the sense of emptying. 24. And he took them and sent them over the stream and sent over them which he had. So he takes them and he sends everybody across the stream, and that's that water coming down. 25. And Yaakov was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. So we find Yaakov stays on the other side by himself. He's let these cross here, but he stayed back by himself, and there he would wrestle a man. This word man here, the word is enosh, and it's a man. It's like an individual or just a person. It's sometimes it's more definite term, and in such cases as that, it's another man or a champion. It could be a fellow, a great mighty person, somebody is of high degree, ruler, one person. So it most likely right here, it's just it has a broad range of meaning. Is this man? It's not necessarily a man. And he wrestles there with him until the breaking of the day, until when the morning comes forth, and that understanding. We'll find out he's contending with an angel of the Lord, a dispatched one who is dispatched for a reason. 26. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Yaakov's thigh was strained, and he wrestled with him. And when he saw that he prevailed not, when this one who he was wrestling against, see that he wasn't going to be able to defeat him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And we'll see he didn't touch. Touch is too light of a word. He struck him there. He smote him there in the hollow of his thigh. We'll find that he walked with a limp from then on. And that ain't no touch done that. He smote him. And the hollow of Yaakov's thigh was strained. It was, as he wrestled with him, it become a great pain. It was nearly to defeat him. 27. And he said, let me go, for the day breaks. And he said, I will not let you go, except you bless me. So he tells him now, let me go, for the day breaks. Understanding's coming for him. And he wasn't going to be able to be there. He was the adversity of understanding. He was the one in the night, one that has his doubt. He is the adverse one, the one who we find in darkness. He has no understanding. It's not the one of understanding. This is the one who was dispatched for him to wrestle against. And he said, I will not let you go, except you bless me. But Yaakov wasn't going to stop until he had a blessing. 28. And he said unto him, what is your name? And he said, Yaakov. So the first thing this one he was wrestling against wants to know, what is your name? What is your Shem? And he answers and he said, Yaakov, I am the supplanter. 29. And he said, your name shall be called no more Yaakov, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed. And he said, no, that's the one he was wrestling with. Your name shall be called no more Yaakov. You shall no longer be called the supplanter, or the one who comes in and takes over that, which is not rightfully his, but Israel. Israel, that one who contends with the mighty one. For you have striven with God, this is the mighty one, and with men, and have prevailed. For you have both striven with the power and the might, and you have prevailed with among men. And we'll find out this one that he prevailed against was adversity. 30. And Yaakov asked him and said, tell me, I pray you, your name. And he said, wherefore is it that you dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Yaakov asked him and says, tell me, I pray you, your name. So now Yaakov wants to know what his name is. What is his Shem? We'll find out. Yaakov had wrestled with him and should know what his name is. This one he contended with. And he asked him, why is it that you do ask after my name? Then actually, well, why would you want to know who I am? I'm the one that contends with you. And he blessed him there. 31. And Yaakov called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. So Yaakov, that's the supplanter, he called the name of that place Peniel. And Peniel means the face of the Mighty One. For he thought that he had seen God face to face. He had not seen God face to face. But he had seen adversity. And that's this face to face is those things made plain. To those things that are just made plain. He wrestled with the adverse one. Dispatched one of the Lord. That was not the Lord himself. 32, for no man can contend with the Lord. 32. And the sun rose upon him as he passed over Peniel, and he limped upon his thigh. And the sun rose up upon him, and understanding come up upon him. He was in the light now. He passed over Peniel, that's that face of the Mighty One, those things that were just made plain of the Mighty One. And he limped upon his thigh. And there he went, limping. And when we limp, that means we've suffered some injury. We're able to continue. It's like he had his life. But he come out limping. He come out of it limping. And to be limping is less than whole. We'll find out. Some strength had been taken away. 33. Therefore the children of Israel eat not the sinew of the thigh vein, which is upon the hollow of the thigh to this day, because he touched the hollow of Yaakov's thigh, even in the sinew of the thigh vein. And we'll find there's a tradition among these children of Israel, those that come forth from the one that contends with the Mighty One. They don't eat the sinew of the thigh vein, or that sinew is a part that ties it together. It pulls the ball into the socket and holds it there. That's that place that works back and forth. And that sinew, they don't eat. That's that portion that ties it there. That's like tendons. We'll find out it would be like eating rubber bands anyway. And that's that portion that's put on the thigh. That's that place of your hip where it goes back and forth. And it inhibits the ability to walk. Not that you can't walk. We'll find out there's a little bit of pain. There's some discomfort. And things ain't working as good as they should. A little bit of adversity is there, mostly. You contend with the Mighty One. And it's the same way we find out to today, and even in every understanding there is of it. And it's because he touched the hollow of Yaakov's thigh, this adversity, the one he contended with in the beginning. But we're going to pick it up. Genesis 33. Turn and return.